Good evening, glory and honor to the Heavenly Father, the creator of heaven and earth, our God, the Most High, Yahweh. Glory and honor to Messiah, the offering for sin sent from the Most High, Yahweh, to save his people from their sins and to cause them to overcome all sin. Glory and honor to Father Yahweh. Glory and honor to Messiah, Yahweh Shai. Greetings to the overcomers of the children of Israel that are now seeking their Most High for his righteousness. Greetings to the brothers and sisters grafted into the olive tree of Israel, granted into his righteousness through the faith of Messiah, which is the Father's righteousness. Great glory and honor to the Father, glory and honor to Messiah. Greetings to the chat. Only one way, y'all feed. Sister Love Blue, Brother Baldy Thorpe, Brother Stephen Kelly, Manny, Brother Castle King, Akawan Banya. Greetings to all of you on this Wednesday evening. Before we go forward, I just want to let y'all know hola, Sister Katie, I did send out the latest list of those possible attendees of this year's Memorial Day weekend. I sent it out with the price for each family. The price depends on how many rooms you're getting, how many bedrooms. If it's a 2-bedroom, it's one price. And if it's a 1-bedroom, it's another price. And it's also according to how many nights you're staying. So if you're staying one night, say, for example, in the room, then it's $100 plus $30 for the fee for the campus fee. If you're staying 2 nights, it's about $260, so on and so forth. So depending on how many rooms you want and depending on how many nights you're staying. So if you're coming for the baptism on Friday morning, which is going to be very early, you have a choice. You can check in Thursday night. Most people would be checking in Thursday night, and coming to baptism is going to be about 7 a.m. Friday morning. Last year, some people drove in that Friday morning, and they would only stayed for the baptism, and then they left. So depending on what you're doing, but let me know, because we need the monies in by April 1st. You see the total amount at the bottom there. That's what they're going to charge my credit card. So I need to know from y'all if you coming, and I need to know from y'all if you're going to be able to get the money in for April 1st. Okay. So please let me know. We're doing it a little different this year. Because some people expressed a little concern. What we were doing before is averaging the amount, so that I thought it would be better, but it maybe didn't work out that well. So those that are getting 1 room, or those that are getting 2 rooms, the 1 room is obviously paying lesser price. Now, we'll let you know too, we're covering a couple of things. We're covering, like we did last year, the food. So, for Shabbat. So for the Shabbat, like we did last year, we're going to have the food covered. Okay. Also, the taxes, there's taxes to pay for the rooms. We got that covered too. So we're covering the taxes and we're covering the food. So that's not, your price is included all that. So the price that you see is your price. That's your price for each room. That's your price for each family. Also, if you were there last year, you remember also that the apartments come with full kitchens. So, and then there's also grocery stores. I would say less than 10 minutes away, but probably less than 5 minutes away, if you remember last year. So if you wanted to get food from the grocery store, your own food, put it in your refrigerator, you could do that, obviously. So that's available. And then, of course, you will have access to the facilities, which includes the pool, which includes a restaurant, and which includes the gym. They got a full gym there as well. And then they're going to pitch you for some sort of a travel program. You don't have to go to that, but they're going to pitch you hard for that, just to let you know. So that's the deal. If you got questions, my email is with what I sent y'all. You can send me back an email. And so you got all that. So, all that's available for you. And of course, we're coming for the fellowship, of course. So it's always rich. This will be our 3rd time going there. So it's been pretty rich every time. If you need any other things, like some people last year, we were helping get from the airport to the facility. They do have, the facility does not have shuttles, but there are services that will take you from the airport to the facility. There's services like van services, and of course, there's the old reliable Uber. But the cheaper way is to get the van service, and a couple families jump in the van. It's cheaper that way. But if you need help with that, let me know. We'll talk about that. Okay. I think that's it. But if you have any questions, please let me know. We're doing this now. It's February 11th. I mean, I think I'm being fair, giving y'all enough heads up, right? April from February, right? So we got enough heads up to, same place, Brother Lonnie, same place. So let me know what your situation is in terms of, are you coming? Are you going to be able to have these funds by April 1st? Let me know if you need some adjustment to the days or whatever. So officially it's May 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Everybody checks out on Sunday, May 24th. We like to do it this way so that you get if you got to go back to work, it's Memorial Day weekend. So if you got to go back to work on Tuesday, it gives you a chance to get home on Sunday. I know my wife always likes a recovery buffer day so that wherever we are, she can recover, have one day home to recover. So that's why we do it this way. So if you want to get back home on Sunday, recover Monday, go back to work Tuesday, you got that. All right. So, yeah. See, okay. So you're saying, so yeah. And people were very, very, as the brothers are, people were, our family, and everybody was helping shuttle people to the store. You know, it was no problem. So there's always somebody with cars there. If you get there and you flew in and you want to go to the store, one of the brothers and sisters, there's always somebody that's going to help you get to the store. Okay, so there's no problem. There's a Walmart, and there was another supermarket, Brother Lonnie, right? I forgot the other supermarket, but there's a Walmart and there's another supermarket out there. If you want, and then there's, of course, there's restaurants and whatever, you know, all that is pretty local to the Mystic Dunes facility. So it's all good. We've had blessed times each time we've had it. We expecting the same this year by the grace of the Father, Yah. And again, you know, I don't have to tell y'all, we don't know how many more years we'll be able to do this, right? We don't know. So we know it's limited. That we do know. But, you know, so we don't know if this time will be our last time or whenever, you know. So, yeah, so that's what I mean. So, yeah, my daughter Jillian probably going to come with Britt, my son, and they're there. And, yeah, it's going to be all good. So, y'all let us know what you want to do. And this year, Brother WYHWH is coming. And let me tell you, if who is just my family and Brother WYHWH, we doing this. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to be there with Brother WYHWH this year. So it's going to be a blessing. So he's coming all the way. He already got his ticket. He already got his plane ticket. He's coming all the way from Dublin, Ireland. He's going to be there. Praise the Most High. So that's a blessing. Yeah. All right. Praise the Most High. Okay. So that was the house cleaning, I guess you want to call it. That was the house cleaning for tonight. All right. So this week, and I put the link, of course, in the description box. This week, people from the Senate of the United States Senate, they received some files that were previously not available from the Epstein situation. And if you're not sure what the Epstein situation is, and it was all brought out this week, what the Epstein situation is it's a worldwide sex trafficking ring that involves very powerful and wealthy people. Okay. And these powerful and wealthy people were being organized in these sex trafficking rings through several ways. But one major way was this man, Jeffrey Epstein, that they found dead in his jail cell a few years ago. And another woman, Ghislaine, I forgot her last name, Maxwell. They were working together. They had a private island. They had many locations where they would bring oftentimes children in these high-level sex rings. And people would call it a conspiracy theory. But what happened, let me tell you why it's coming out. Number one, the Most High is giving everybody a chance to see the truth. Just a tip of truth of what's going on in the world. Okay. Many of these people are Christians. Let you know. Some of them are Muslims too. And of course, Epstein, well, we kind of know what that is, right? So these are the three Abrahamic religions being represented in this sex trafficking ring. Now, this week, as a result of some of these files, apparently there's a couple of million. So some of the members of the Senate were able to spend 2 hours going through the files. They said they just touched the tip of the iceberg. The president's name is in there thousands of times. And this man, Epstein. Now, the president and all of his cabinet is working real hard to cover everything up. In the description box, the link that I gave you is the Senate, the senator expressing his frustration at what he called the two-tiered justice system in America. Now, I gave an example of that in the thumbnail. The thumbnail has on one side a young Hebrew boy. His name was George Stinney. George Stinney, at the age of 14, was accused of raping a white woman. He didn't do it. And by the time they found out he didn't do it, they had already put the boy, age 14, to death in the electric chair in North Carolina. Okay? 14. I wish I could say this was unusual in the United States of America, but it's not. From the time that the Hebrews came to the shores of America in chains, there's always been one justice system for the Hebrews and one for the oppressors. Always. Okay? There's always been two justice systems. Now, a third part is now available if you're an entertainer and you got money. So if you're an entertainer and you got money, let's talk about O.J. Simpson for a moment. I'm not going to tell you whether I think he's guilty or innocent. That's not the point here. I don't want to focus on that. I bring up his name because let's talk about what happened. His ex-wife and a young man, 20 years old, 21 years old, were stabbed to death in June of 1994 in the ex-wife's house that used to be OJ's house. They were stabbed to death. They charged O.J. Simpson, a former Pro Football Hall of Fame player that had retired and become a very successful commercial man for Hertz commercials, and he had become a television personality, with the murders. Now, his ex-wife is a European, the one they found murdered. The young man that was with her was an Ashkenazi Jew. OJ, by bloodline anyway, was a Hebrew. In the United States of America, if I was to paint that picture for you, without you knowing anything else, black man accused of stabbing to death white woman with white man that happens to be Ashkenazi, how would this turn out? What would you think would happen in the normal system of justice that's in the United States? You have a black man. He's accused of stabbing to death two white people. Now, we just said George Stinney was accused of rape at age 14 of a grown white woman, which he didn't do, and they put him to death. What would you think? This black man would fry. Okay, he'd be dead. And if it was far enough back, they wouldn't even let it go to trial. They'd have come to the jail and got him and killed him. Am I lying yet? They'd have come to the jail. Sheriff would have helped them string this man up. But O.J. Simpson was rich. Not only was he rich, he's deceased now, but he was a celebrity. So now he's a famous entertainer with money. So he was able to hire the best lawyers money could buy, paid them out millions of dollars. And at the end, he was found not guilty. So the point we're making here is that if OJ didn't have all that money, if OJ wasn't a celebrity, he'd be either dead, died in jail, or still in jail. Okay? But because he's a celebrity and he has a lot of money, or had, that didn't work out that way with him. So you got one system of justice for people of color, another system of justice for the Europeans, and then you got the entertainers who, when you have money, you can get over as well. And if you're a European and you have money, you definitely getting over. I remember once when I used to live in the state of Connecticut, I used to do financial planning seminars. And I met this Ashkenazi lawyer in Connecticut. He was a big-time lawyer in a big-time firm. Matter of fact, one of the partners in his firm was famous because he had never lost a case. In fact, he represented a man that was tried for hacking his wife to death. A white man was charged with murder, hacking his wife to death. And he guaranteed the white man, I'm going to get you off. But he had a minimum fee. You had to give him a deposit of $50,000. He said, you give me the $50,000 deposit, you're going to get off. The white man came with $35,000, the accused. The lawyer said, take your $35,000 and go get another lawyer. He tried to talk him. He said, listen, I got 35. No, you need to bring 50, or you can go take your chances. The white man got the 50. Guess what? He was found not guilty. So I asked my friend who worked in the firm, I said, how could he guarantee? He said he knows judges. That's all he said. He knows judges. So if you're white and you got 50 grand, they could catch you with the bloody knife in your hand and you can get off. You got 50 grand. That's the system of justice we have in the United States of America. And it reminds me of scriptures. Let's take a look at some scriptures. First, let's go first because what I would like to illustrate first is one of the ways you and I, some of us that are awakened Hebrews, most of us in this room that are awakened Hebrews, one of the common ways that we received our awakening from the Most High is we were studying the Bible and we studied the curses that came on the Hebrews in the Bible. And tell me if I'm lying yet, but when we studied that, right? When we studied the curses, we saw a mirror. We saw ourselves in the mirror. We saw George Stinney, right? We saw George Floyd, right? We saw Sandra Bland. We saw Ahmaud Arbery. We saw it all in the Bible. Yes, and we saw it in the curses. And when we saw that, many of us, including myself, would look at that and say, wait a minute, because all my life prior to understanding this, I was one of those that would ask the Most High, why does this have to happen to us? Why do we get hung? Why do we get arrested? Why do we get the long sentences for the same crimes white folks commit because of the color of our skin? Why was that? But then when I read the curses, I understood it. When I read the curses, not only did we understand that was us, we understood the big question, why it was us. Okay. And again, as you read those curses in Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus chapter 26, when you read the curses in Ezekiel and in Isaiah and in Jeremiah, when you read the curses in the Psalms, you understand why. Because of what our forefathers did. Okay. Now, we also read what I'm about to read to you now. First, let's start at verse. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 25. Again, we discovered who we were from reading the King James Bible. The King James Bible. We understood who we were by reading the King James Bible. Just like that, we're going to understand something else right now. Here, Jeremiah chapter 25, and again, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. It is a Bible rule, and it is a rule we strictly follow. For any doctrine that I present from this desk, I must have 2 or 3 Bible witnesses to support that doctrine. If I don't, then it's not a doctrine. That's pretty simple, isn't it? So we have 3 witnesses to support what we're about to read here. This first one is Jeremiah chapter 25. Jeremiah chapter 25. And I'm going to begin at verse 27. And I'm going to read from verse 27 down to verse 29. This is Jeremiah chapter 25 from verse 27 to verse 29. Witness number 1, Jeremiah. Therefore, thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Most High of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. Among who? Let's keep reading. 2 more verses. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh of hosts. Again, who's speaking here? The Most High. Ye shall certainly drink, for lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and should ye be utterly unpunished? Ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith Yahweh of hosts. So it sounds like the Most High is intending to call for a sword on the whole world. Did I read that right? Did I misread it? Did I take it out of context? Or did I read it in the context that it is? What say you, brethren? Did he say that, or did I just make that up? Did he say, I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth? Didn't he say that? Yes. Okay. That was only one witness, though. We can't establish this doctrine of a sword on the whole earth based on one verse, right? That's what Christians do. We're not doing it. So let's look at Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 51. We just looked at this the other day, but see, sometimes I praise the Most High because, you know, I be using a lot of the same verses for your future teachers of the world, for your future teachers of the world, that the Most High Spirit's going to cause you to teach. And you're going to have these verses. You're going to have all these. You're going to have more than that because you're reading the word. Just read the word. Start in Genesis. Go to Revelation. Never mind me. Read the word. Start in Genesis. Straight through. Go to Revelation. Straight through. Pray to the Heavenly Father for wisdom and understanding. Just like Solomon did. The Bible says in James, if you ask him, he'll give it to you. Ask him. Okay? And if I'm telling the truth, the Spirit will bear witness with your spirit that is true. Praise the Most High. Well, Isaiah chapter 51. Isaiah chapter 51. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to start at verse 21. Isaiah chapter 51. I'm going to start at verse 21. This is our second witness. I'm going to start at verse 21, and I'm going to go down to verse 23. Isaiah chapter 51, from verse 21 to verse 23. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith thy most high, Yahweh, the most high that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. Let me ask y'all, have black people had to bow down to white people in the United States of America? Have we had to bow down so that they may go over? Have we had to do that? So I think that fits us. And it says, I will put it in the hands of them that afflict thee. Is that a second witness? Is that good enough for a second witness? What say you? Is that good enough for a second witness? There's a second witness, right? Brother David, royal house of Judah, right? Praise the Most High. Okay, let's get a third witness. Go to the Psalms. Let's go to the Psalms. Psalm 75. Psalm 75. Yes, Psalm 75. All right. I'm going to begin in Psalm 75 at verse 7. This is David. So what we got? Jeremiah, Isaiah, and David. Guess what they have in common? They're all Hebrew Israelites. Psalm 70, none of them are Christians. There's no Christians. Psalm 75 from verse 7 down to verse 10 is our third witness. But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. For in the hand of Yahweh there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture. He poureth out the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. But I will declare forever, I will sing praises unto the Most High of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. So it sounds like he getting ready to let the wicked drink the dregs of his fury, like Jeremiah said, and like Isaiah said. Isn't that correct? Isaiah and Jeremiah said the same thing. Wait a minute. Just in case, if you don't mind, that's 3, right? Well, when you really got a strong witness, you got even more than 3, right? When you got a strong, right, Brother Lonnie? When you got a strong witness, right? When your witness is tight, usually you get more than 3 prophets talking about the same thing. Well, then let's go to Moses. And usually one of them is involving Brother Moses, as this one is. So let's take a look here. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, one of my favorite ones. Deuteronomy chapter 30, from verse 1 down to verse 7, fourth witness. So we got Isaiah, Jeremiah, David, and now Moses, fourth witness. This is how you get 2 or 3 witnesses, right? Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 30, from verse 1 to 7. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, talking about his Hebrew people, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither Yahweh thy Most High have driven thee, and shalt return unto Yahweh thy Most High, and shalt obey his voice, according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then Yahweh thy Most High will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations where the Yahweh thy Most High have scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will Yahweh thy Most High gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And Yahweh thy Most High will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And Yahweh thy Most High will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed, to love Yahweh thy Most High with all thine heart, with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. Watch verse 7. And Yahweh thy most high will put all these curses upon thine enemies, on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Have white people hated Hebrews in the United States of America? Have white people persecuted us in the United States of America? Has that happened? So I guess this fits then, right? He said, I'm going to take all these curses and put them on your enemies, on them that hated you, that persecuted you. That worked for a fourth witness, brethren. That worked for a fourth witness, right? That's good for 4. That's good for 4, right? Well, shoot, man. Let's go for 5. Let's go for 5. Let's go one more. Just nail this point home, okay? Let's nail this point home. Let's go for 5. Okay, so here, Revelation chapter 14. Revelation chapter 14. Revelation 14. This is wait, how many is that? This is the 5th one. Got a lot of more, but 5 is strong, isn't it? That's strong, right, Brother Castle King? 5 is strong, isn't it? 5, shoot, you got strong. We got a strong doctrine now. Okay, it's strong. This is Revelation 14. I'm going to start at verse 6. Revelation 14, I'm going to start at verse 6, and I'm going to go down to verse 10. This is Revelation 14 from verse 6 to 10. Right, Brother Line? We got stronger than 45. 45 can't even touch this. We got it. It's strong. Okay, this is definite, strong, solid doctrine. What Paul say? We should believe in what? Sound doctrine. I think we got it. Revelation 14 from 7 to 10. Notice what it says here. Saying with a loud voice, wait. Let me start at verse 6. Sorry. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, fear Yahweh, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth, the sea, and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture. Straight, no chaser. See, the one in Psalm 75 was mixed. This got no chaser. Without chaser, without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Well, that's 4 witnesses saying they're getting ready to catch it. Isn't that right? So who getting ready to catch it? Well, all the wicked. So now, wait a minute. Let me ask y'all a very straight question. Do y'all think pedophiles are wicked? What y'all think? Men that have sex with little boys and little girls, they got to be wicked, right? Men that rape little boys, little girls, they got to be wicked, right? I mean, they got to be judged as wicked, correct? So I think what we just read covers all of them. So here, look here. You got people in the United States. First of all, Donald Trump has been convicted. I'm not even, he's been convicted of fraud. He's been convicted of sexual sins, shall we say. His name is all in the pedophile files. His name is all in there. And you got people defending him. Am I lying yet? You got 70 plus million Americans defending him. Defending a pedophile. Because of his policies. So wait a minute now. Will those that defend him get what he's getting ready to get? What y'all think? Those defending him, will they get what he's getting ready to get? What y'all think? And can we safely say That young brother George Stinney is going to raise up in the first resurrection and judge them fools with us. Isn't that correct? Can we just say that? Judge the same ones that put him to death in the electric chair when the young 14-year-old boy didn't do nothing? Yeah, I think we can safely say that. We can safely say that. Just like young brother Emmett Till, he's coming up in the first resurrection. We can say that, can we not? Young brother Emmett Till coming up in the first resurrection with all the brethren. He gonna be standing on the sea of glass. Young brother Emmett Till, along with young brother George Stinney, and they gonna be looking off from the wall at these fools that's getting over right now. See, you see, brothers and sisters, you see, you're gonna continue to see wicked people appear to get over. But the Bible is already showing us they got something coming, do they not? They got something coming. Now, let's look now. What was I? Habakkuk. Yes, that's an Old Testament book for those of you all not familiar with your Bibles. Get familiar. But anyway, Habakkuk, what does it say here? This is very interesting. Habakkuk chapter 1. Habakkuk chapter 1. Paul actually quotes Habakkuk. For all y'all don't understand that Paul is a Hebrew prophet, thinking he's not inspired, or some of y'all thinking he's supporting white Jesus, an institution of Christianity that doesn't exist in the Bible. But anyway, Habakkuk chapter 1. Watch this. From verse 1, I'm going to go down to verse 5. Habakkuk chapter 1. From verse 1 to verse 5. Prophecy. Praise the Most High for prophecy. Yes. I think because of our awakening, Brother Stephen Kelly, see, our awakening is the key here. We're going to get another verse for that one. Okay. But our awakening is key. We already got one because remember, Deuteronomy 30 said, it shall come to pass when all these things come upon you and it comes to your mind. That's our awakening. Okay. That's our awakening. But here, Habakkuk chapter 1. From verse 1 to 5. When you really dig into the word, brother, I know I might sound a little crazy, but I get excited about the word because the word really tells you everything. It really does. But you need the Heavenly Father's eyesight. You need his spirit to teach you the word. And when you really surrender to the Heavenly Father, the creator, and you learn the word, you start to see things the heathen can't see. They're not going to see it. The Father doesn't give his spirit to everybody. He just doesn't. He gives it to his people, though. And those that are with his people. Praise the Most High. Habakkuk chapter 1 from verse 1 to 5. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O YHWH, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. That sounds like the Hebrew experience, right? With the Europeans. That's our experience, is it not? And we sighing and crying, are we not? Okay. Therefore, the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass of the righteous, and wrong judgment proceedeth. Isn't that what we see, y'all? Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvellously, for I will work a work in your days, which ye shall not believe, though it be told you. So the Most High said, I'm going to work a work in the days of the heathen. And you remember what Messiah said? Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Isn't that what Messiah said? We're talking about Luke 21, I believe, 21, verse 24. Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, and ye shall go into captivity to all nations until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Okay. Right. So we at the end of that. See, this is the thing. Every day, every week, there are so many events taking place that are basically warning us it's over, right? It's over. So that's why I say to you, Hebrews, please pray to the Heavenly Father that he guide your steps in the way you should go. and that he guide your steps to where you should go, wherever it is, and he will guide you. Don't try to think on your own. I know it's tempting. I do it all the time. And he's always laughing at me. He's always laughing at me. But once he finished laughing, he guided us in the way we're supposed to go. So pray to the Most High that he will guide your steps, because you know, and I know these scriptures are being fulfilled. Are they not? These scriptures are being fulfilled, y'all. They're being fulfilled. So he said, I'm going to work a work that you're not going to believe. And they don't believe it, do they? But wait, let's go 2 more scriptures. Ezekiel. Let's go to brother Ezekiel. Now, we done tapped into brother Jeremiah. We done tapped into brother Isaiah. But we ain't tapped into the third one that's called the major prophet, brother Ezekiel. Let's look at brother Ezekiel. Our brother, our Hebrew Israelite brother from the tribe of Levi, Ezekiel. So let's take a look at brother Ezekiel. Where was I? Oh, okay. Let's take a look at brother Ezekiel. Where was I here? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Chapter 9. Ezekiel chapter 9. I had to think about it for a second. Yeah, brother Zeke. That's right. Brother Zeke. That's right. Let's look at brother Zeke. You know, there's a lot of brothers in the United States called Ezekiel. And you know their name is Ezekiel because usually they'll go by the nickname. You know, brothers always give brothers nicknames. You know that, right? It's like there was a brother in the Bible. They called him Niger. I don't know if that was his real name, but he was dark. He laid hands on Paul. Matter of fact, he laid hands on Paul. Okay. I think that's Acts chapter 13. Brother Niger. He was a Hebrew. He was dark. So they called him black. Not that, to all of us black, but some of us got more melanin than others, right? Some of us got some deep melanin, right? Brother Niger. There was one of the disciples they called a Canaanite. You know why they called him a Canaanite? Because he was buck wild. He was what they call a zealot. When you look up the word Canaanite in the context where they said they called him a Canaanite, he wasn't no heathen. He was a Hebrew. But look it up, it says zealot, because he was a zealot. So he said, you wild. They try to tell him how wild he is. You's a wild brother. And and I know you get some brothers that's just straight fools, right? Well, there you go. So now, Ezekiel chapter 8. Now, again, we remember everything that happened to us is about to happen to them. We did show that with 5 witnesses, didn't we? We did show that with 5 witnesses, right? Everything that's happened to us is getting ready to happen to them. So when we read something that's happening to us, we know 100% it's getting ready to happen to them. Most High ain't just putting it on us without them getting a little bit of it too. See, we drank that cup. He said, y'all drink it. I'm taking out your hand. I'm going to let them drink it now. It's them turn to get it with no chaser. We done had it with no chaser. We still catching it with no chaser, although that's about to come to an end. So here in Ezekiel chapter 8, watch the sighing and crying that the word is talking about. Ezekiel chapter 8 from verse 1. Actually, I'm sorry. I meant chapter 9, not 8, 9. Ezekiel chapter 9 from verse 1. Excuse me. Ezekiel chapter 9 from verse 1 down to verse 6. Ezekiel chapter 9 from verse 1 to verse 6. This is the vision of brother Zeke in chapter 9 of the prophecy he was given from the Most High YHWH for Israel, which we know, well, you'll know what I mean when I read it. Ezekiel chapter 9 from verse 1 to verse 6. He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. Now, I want to make sure you understand. These are angels that had charge over Jerusalem. You're about to read about angels that have charge over the whole earth, and the same thing is coming. But here, these angels have charge over the city of Jerusalem. Ready? Here we go. Verse 2. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate which lieth toward the north, every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with the writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the Most High of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called the men clothed in linen, which had the writer's ink on by his side. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark. Not a tattoo. He said, set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said, in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. Judgment begins, Peter says, Kapha says, at the house of Yahweh. And if judgment begins at us, what about those that obey not the gospel of YHWH? But wait a minute. The mark on the forehead. Revelation. That reminds me of Revelation chapter 7. Let's go. Revelation chapter 7. So we got Revelation chapter 7. We just had Habakkuk say, I'm going to work on y'all, that even if somebody tell you, you ain't going to believe it. Isn't that what Habakkuk said? He said, I'm going to work on you, heathen, that even if somebody tell you, you ain't going to believe it. Revelation chapter 7. I want you to notice now the mark. Revelation chapter 7 from verse 1 down to verse 4. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, them that have charge over the earth. See, in Ezekiel, you had the angels that had charge over the city. And now in Revelation, you have them that have charge over the earth. Y'all catching it? So I had 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth. And as we know, those are also the 4 carpenters from Zechariah chapter 1. Okay. You know, it was Brother Superstar's wife, I think, that turned me on to that first time. Yeah. Brother Superstar was your wife. She said, isn't that? And I said, no, but then I looked at her, I said, you know what? You're right. Yeah. I learned something. So Zechariah is another witness to this, Zechariah chapter 1, the 4 carpenters. But here it's the same as the angels in Jerusalem in Ezekiel chapter 9, except this is on the whole earth. Okay, here we go. Where was I? Okay, in verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Most High. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, just like in Jerusalem, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Most High in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So they're sealing the children of Israel with a mark, but you can't see the mark. The angels can see the mark. The Father can see the mark. The Messiah can see the mark. You can't see the mark. Man can't see it, just like the mark of the beast. Man won't see the mark, but angels will see the mark. The Father will see the mark. The Messiah will see the mark. And you'll tell who give you what mark and what mark you have by the choices you make. So, a person that's a pedophile obviously is receiving the mark of the beast, correct? A person that fights against the pedophile, a person that sighs and that cries to the Creator against the pedophile, that person is obviously looking for the mark in their forehead from the Father. And he said, hold the winds until they are sealed. The sealing begins. The sealing begins when the Bible said, and it shall come to pass when all these things come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind. Are we calling the curses to mind? Are we calling the curses to mind? Had they come to our mind? We talked in the beginning about how we awakened. We awaken because the curses came to our mind. It said, when all these things come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind. That calling to mind is our awakening, and that is the beginning of our sealing process. So hold the winds until we have sealed the servants with our mark in their forehead. So the Father has a mark, and the devil has a mark. And those that are going to be sealed are going to receive. Now, as we know, the majority is going to receive the mark of the beast. The majority earth. The mark of the beast is man-based religion. And the dominant three man-based religions on the planet are Judaism, not because of their numbers, but because of their money. Christianity and Islam. So you get in a man-based religion, and all of them are man-based, you're going to receive the mark of the beast. When you leave man's religion, you see, Daniel chapter 2 is the object lesson for this. Daniel chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar made an image after man. He demanded all people in the earth, all of the leaders, worship this man-based image. It was made of gold, which means it was valued very highly, expensive. Money was involved, lots of money. So Nebuchadnezzar controlled the money, and he demanded everybody worship the image of himself, which is the image of man, which is Babylon, which is man-based religion. See, when you worship in the Creator, you will not be involved with man-based religion. You can't be. How could you be involved with something created by man when you're worshiping the Creator who has no man-based religion? He is the religion. You see, there's a difference. The Father, Yahweh, is the religion. Do you understand? Messiah is not the religion. The Father is the religion. The Messiah is the Savior, though. Why? Because he represents who? His Father. And the Messiah is the only being in the history of man, in the history of the world, to be both prophet, priest, and king. Prophet, priest, and king, and atonement for sin. There is none other like him, and there never will be. So therefore, he has, the Bible says, his portion with the great. The great is the Father. He said he's divide the portion. He's going to divide his portion, Isaiah 53 said, with the great. That's the Father. Praise the Most High. So see, you're not going to find the Most High in a Baptist church, in an SDA church, in a Mormon church. You're not going to find the Most High in the Vatican, because those are all made by man. They are named. See, it's very simple. Very simple, y'all. When man names it, it belongs to him. Y'all got that? Isn't that simple? When man names it, it belongs to him. Y'all got that? So if it's called Baptist, SDA, whatever name man has given to it, it belongs to him. That's it. And if it's man-based, it belongs to the devil. Now, somebody's going to say, well, everything was made by name by. No, sir, no, ma'am. Let me ask you a question. Who gave Abraham his name? Did Abraham say, I'm going to change my name legally from Abraham to Abraham? And I'm going to change my wife's name from Sarai to Sarah. Did Abraham come up with that? No, the Most High did. And when Abraham and Sarah were going to have a child, when both of them was old, Abraham 99 and she was 89, she had a child, she's 90, he's 100. And the child was named Yisha'ak. So Abraham and Sarah got together and said, what are we going to name this child? Well, I like the name Yisha'ak. So we're going to name it that. Is that how they came up with the name? Is that how Isaac got his name? They parents just decided we're going to decide. Nope. How they do it? Messiah came with two angels and visited Abraham after the Father Yah had given Abraham his new name and said, you're going to have a son next year. And they laughed. And Sarah tried to cover the fact that she was back there laughing, and Messiah said, we're going to name the child to laugh because your wife is back there laughing. And she came and said, no, I wasn't laughing. He said, yes, you did laugh. And so YHWH means to laugh. Now, YHWH has twin boys. One of them, Edom. The other one he named Yaakov because he grabbed his brother by the heel and came out the womb second, right? So he's the youngest one of the two twins. But Yaakov's name was changed to YHWH, commonly referred to as Israel. So if his name was changed to Israel, did he decide, I don't like that name, heel grabber. I don't like the usurper name. I don't like heel grabber name. So I'm gonna change it to right with the Most High. Did Yaakov decide to do that? Is that how he got his name? Or how did he get his name? He wrestled with the Messiah. And the Messiah said, he asked the Messiah, what's your name? He said, what you asking for my name? He said, I need you to bless me. He said, okay. Your name was Jacob, but that's not your name no more. Your name is YHWH because you have power with the Most High. You're a prince of the Most High. So YHWH means right with the Most High. So all of YHWH's children are called the children of YHWH. Isn't that correct? So we all Jacob's children. So YHWH, that name didn't come from man. YHWH didn't come from man. Abraham didn't come from man. And the children of the nation that is Jacob's children didn't come from the man. It came from the Most High. Therefore, it is the Most High's people. That's his people called by his name. Man didn't give us that name. Every other name, though, Baptist, Pentecostal, Congregational, SDA, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, all of that, some man went in some room somewhere and made that up, right? There you go. There you go. Matter of fact, my experience with the SDA church, I have learned that they were called Millerites from William Miller. And then later on, they wanted to have their own name. So in 1863, they got together and created a name and called it Seventh-day Adventist, man-made. If man names it, it's his. And if it's man-based, it's from the devil, because that's one of his main doctrine, man as God. Therefore, if you're in a man-based religion, you are possibly a strong candidate for the mark of the beast. And don't think because you're an atheist, you escaping. Atheists don't believe no Most High. You definitely catching the mark. You definitely catching it. You dissing the creator, talking about ain't no God. And you think you're getting over. You're not getting over. You drinking that cup, y'all. You drinking. So only those people that are with the people named by the Most High are the Most High's people. Logical, isn't it? Even Spock would like that. Even Spock. Praise the Most High. So these folks that get this backwards judgment, that are being protected by the laws they create after committing all these heinous crimes against children, these folks getting ready to catch it. Even if you was to tell them, they wouldn't believe you. Like the Bible said, I'm gonna work a work that you won't believe, though a man tell you, you won't believe. But the people that belong to Yah, whether they be heathen, wherever they come from, whether they be formerly Ashkenazis, formerly Muslims, formerly Christians, if you believe the truths that we're saying here from the word and you're ready to come to the Most High, you can escape the mark of the beast. Praise the Most High. And I pray you do, because it's coming real soon. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom.